Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome back to the Happy Ever After show. I am Cassie Parks, your host, and I'm so excited that you're joining me today for this season, which is called Double Your Business. And if you're listening to this, I know that you're listening because you want to double your business without doubling your hours so that you can actually enjoy the life that you've built. And I'm excited about the topic that we're going to talk about today in this episode, and it's what it looks like when you succeed and getting really clear about what it's costing you not to double your business right now. You know, I used to think this, and I had this sense that it didn't really matter how long it took me. And I think that there's always a process to how long it's going to take you. But I want to help you get really clear on what it costs to sort of put off doubling your business every month, because I think that's important information to have. When we have all the information, we make better choices and we make clear decisions for ourselves. You know, like, am I happy in this place, or is it important to move on? So move on and create the next iteration of your business, not move on from your business. So I'm very excited to talk about that topic today. And before, I just wanted to share something with you that I am super excited about. If you listen to this and you're like, oh, that sounds so cool, you actually can join. But I am speaking on the Law of Attraction Radio Network cruise in February. And so I love the atmosphere of this cruise and going on it and speaking on it. It's super fun. But this one is special because, you know, the people from my year-long group have all decided that they are going to come on the cruise, and we're actually turning the live event that we have a couple times a year where we get together. We're going to do that event on the cruise. And I didn't propose this. Actually, someone in my group found I was speaking, found the link. Not that I was hiding it from them. I just hadn't even occurred to me. And so she found it and she posted it, and they all decided they wanted to go. And so I've committed. I've not registered, but I'm getting the owner's suite, which is the best suite on the boat. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about that because I get to have all of my people come in and they get to hang out in the owner's suite and really get to know what that feels like. In fact, one of them was like, I'm going on the cruise because you have the owner's suite, because I want to know what it feels like to sit in there and be in that experience so that I can script that and bring that into my life. And so I'm really excited. I'm excited about the owner's suite, and I'm really, really excited to get to have this experience with my people. You know, it was always a dream of mine. When I very first started my business, I wanted to create a group where you supported each other stepping into your future selves, and you supported and celebrated every step along the way of what you are manifesting and creating in your life. And I wanted to be able to hang out with people long term, because I think when you commit to doing something for a year, that's when you really grow. And so to get to share this experience with them and have them on the boat and get to let them experience the owner's suite is really a dream come true. And it's a dream come true because I decided to do the process that we're talking about on this season of the podcast, and I decided to double my business. And so that's all made possible because I made that decision. I want to double my business. Actually, it ended up being more than double my business. And I want to step and grow into that person who has that business. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you are interested, you can just go to loaradionetwork.com and check out the cruise page if you want to join in that fun experience. So if you do book that cruise under my name, you get invited to some sort of, I don't know the schedule yet, so it'll be like a happy hour or some sort of get together where you will also get to come experience the owner's suite. So anyway, it's the cool dreams that come true that sometimes, you know, it is about the money in our business, but it's also about what else comes true when we step into that place of doubling our business without doubling your hours, so that you can enjoy this life that you have built. And so that leads into our topic today, because we're really going to talk about what does it look like when you have doubled your business without doubling your hours? What does it look like in your life? So excited to talk to you about that. If you love this season of the podcast, you may want to get my upcoming book, which is also called Double Your Business, and it will be available on Amazon September 1st. So mark your calendars, because it'll be free that day, and I would love if you picked it up that day. In the meantime, I didn't want you to have to wait on the book, so I created a 4-part video course for you that will walk you through the steps to doubling your business. And you can go to doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com and get that. It's free. It's you'll actually log in and have 4 courses, and it's awesome. So I'm excited about that, and let me know the ahas that you have from that course, because it's going to take you through step by step and tell you what you got to do to double your business without doubling your hours. The same things we're talking about here. It's going to give you a little bit, some specific actions that you can take and some things that you can take, steps that you can take. All right, so there are 2 sides to getting clear about whether it's important to pursue doubling your business right now or not. Either way takes an investment of energy, time, and likely money. So whether you decide, I'm not going to double my business right now, there is an investment of energy, time, and money. And it might be something that you're just not getting in return. That might be the cost of it, or the investment is what you're not getting. And if you choose to double your business, there is an investment of energy, time, and money. And like we've talked about, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to double your hours to double your business, right? But there is an investment of the energy and the time and the money, possibly, to put into place to take the steps that we're talking about on this podcast. So it's important to understand sort of where you're going and why you're going there. And so just take a second, and I've given you this homework before, but what does it look like when you've doubled your business? What does that look like in your life? Not just on paper, not just a number, 50,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to 200,000. What does your life look like? How does your life look different? For me, at first, before I kind of got this whole process and I started creating this process that I'm teaching you and stepping into that, it was really just a number. Not even on a piece of paper. It was on a piece of paper, but it was on the inside of my meditation space. I have my meditation space. There's a part that's like chalkboard, so I could write intentions. And so I wrote in there, I make $500,000 from my bed in my balcony. And really that was part of what did it look like. So for me, by putting my bed in my balcony, it meant easy. It meant fun. It meant not doing all these, things, not having to do a bunch of stuff that I didn't want to do. And the reason why it said my bed in my balcony, it was interesting. My editor was like, I need some more explanation here when I wrote that in the book. And the reason, I was living in a studio apartment at the time. So I often, for a break and just, you could see out from my bed, you could see the beautiful mountain view. So often I would sit in my bed and I would work. If I wasn't on the phone with a client, I would often be sitting in my bed with my laptop in my lap working. And so for my bed and my balcony, I also worked a lot on my balcony, when the weather was, wasn't super scorching hot or wasn't too cold. I would be working on my balcony because, again, I could see the view and I love my balcony and being outside. And so I would, for my bed and my balcony, really describe this sort of free and easy place I wanted to have my business doubled from. So what is different in your life when you have doubled your business? Think about that. I'm going to ask you some questions and just to get those juices flowing, because we really want to know what is different in your life. Are you taking a vacation that you've been putting off for some time for financial reasons? Are you just, able to take a vacation? Are you moving into a new house, your dream house possibly? Are you driving a new car with the top down through the tree-lined streets of your favorite neighborhood? Do you feel more secure because you have more money in the bank? What are you able to say yes to that you currently can't say yes to? All of these are important questions, and there's more. And as you start to think about those, they're probably going to spur other ideas. Oh, this is happening. Are you able to send your kid to a better preschool? Or are you able to save for college? Are you investing in your nieces and nephews' college fund when you're doubling your business? What does it look like to have doubled your business? Really put yourself in that space where that money is coming in every month, and feel what it's like, and look at your life through that lens, right? Like pick up your glasses of having doubled your business, whether it's going from 50,000 and you're going to 100,000, put on your $100,000 glasses and look at your life and see what's different. Then I want to talk a little bit about what is it costing you to not double your business. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I used to not, that seemed like not a cost. Like there didn't seem like a cost to me. But as I have doubled my business 3 times now, I know what the cost is, right? I can look at the dollar amount every month. It's well over 10 grand to not have a month. It would have been costing me to not have doubled my business 2 and 3 times. And so what is it costing you not to double your business? I used to think I would get there when I get there. And that started to not feel good. And it wasn't necessarily because I went like, oh, I'm putting off, like if I put this off for a year, it's well over 120 grand. It wasn't that. But I think now that I know, it's important to look at this. And it continues to grow every month. So it's like 10 to 15,000, and that gets bigger and bigger every month if I hadn't doubled my business. And I didn't realize that it mattered. But now that I'd done it, I'm so glad, because I would have been missing out on now I calculate, oh my gosh, I would have missed out on X amount of dollars had I not started the process when I started it. And so that's an important cost. But I want to talk about what else is it costing you? How much is it costing you to put off purchasing your dream home? When I think about Denver and the way that the market is, I'm guessing like someone putting off buying their dream home costs them about an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month. I mean, the market is just going, it might be a little bit high, but maybe not, depending on your dream house. But, because I have friends that listed, when they started thinking about listing their house, it was a month later that they did it. And what they listed it for went up $5,000. And they're not even this was like a lower end house. It went up $5,000 in a month. So easily, if we're talking about a dream home, something that, might be, $500 to $1 million or $2 million, it could easily be costing you 5 to 10 grand sort of in that way a month, because you're not able to make that choice. You're not able to step into that place of buying that house right now. And so that's an important factor to sort of think about. And what else is it costing you? Is it stress about how to double your business? You've talked about this before. You might be someone who's been thinking about doubling your business for a while and been in this stuck place where you're like, how do I do it without doubling the amount of hours that I'm working? And so is that causing this sort of stress and angst because you don't know what to do? Or is it more of like a frustrated with like feeling stuck? Because you're like, I want to double my business, but you not seeing that sort of path to do it without doubling your hours, and you want to keep enjoying your life. So is it costing you stress or frustration? What is sort of that feeling cost, that emotional cost that it's costing you not to double your business? And one of the things that I think is so cool actually is that when we get clear on what things are costing us, is then we can make a choice, right? So if you feel sort of stuck and frustrated and you see sort of this financial, number cost to not moving forward, and maybe sometimes it's the financial stuff. It's like the money it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, my house is costing me 5 to 10 grand more every month that I don't say yes to it. Right. And sometimes the bigger thing is that stress and frustration. And so it's important to get clear on all of it. Like, because this is rolling around in your head at some point, whether you know it or not, it is kind of rolling around in your head. And we can bring it to the surface. We can make it conscious, and we can list it out, or you can just think about it and really make it a conscious thing. The stress, the frustration, the money, all of that. Then it's there. So it's not just sort of rolling around in the back, creating like sort of back end stress or like, just stress that's happening without you sort of being conscious of it, we can list it out. And the coolest thing about this is that when you get clear about what it is costing you, what it's going to look like when you double your business, and what it is costing you not to double your business, you get to make a choice. And the choice might be like, hey, I'm going to let go. I am actually really good where I am, and I'm going to let go of all of this. This doesn't matter. I'm going to choose to stay right here. Like, this is good enough. And that's an okay choice. Like, and that's what I love about when we get really clear and you actually make a decision. Like, that's the best decision you can make if that's the decision that's right for you. But you can't, and then you can also make the choice like, oh no, this is costing me way too much, or I want this so much. I want that life where it looks like, what I see in my head about when I've doubled my business. I want that so much that I'm going after it. And once you sort of have lined all this stuff out and it's clear, and you, instead of rolling around in your head, it's like clear and conscious, you can make that choice very clearly about what you want to do. And when you make that choice, a lot of the stress, a lot of the frustration, a lot of all of that stuff goes away because you've made the decision to either move forward doubling your business or be okay right where you are, which is such an awesome thing to be able to do, is really to just make that decision. And that, it just loosens up so much, frees up so much in your life. So I just want to say that. And I want to, so in the terms of like, what is it costing you? Like, what impact are the feelings, if it's stress and frustration about feeling stuck? Like, what impact are those feelings having on your life? And on your are they having an effect on your relationships? Like, are you feeling stuck and pulled in all these directions? Because you're trying to figure out how to double your business, so you're not partaking in certain relationship activities, whether it's like go to the park with your family or, go visit your parents, whatever it is. Is there an impact that stress and frustration is? Are you being kept from that stuff because you're sort of focused on how can I double my business, or you feel overworked in your business right now? Or are those feelings just sort of having this other effect, which happens, right? When we have that sort of stress and frustration rolling around in our heads and our bodies, it can come out and it can impact our relationships in ways that we don't necessarily see until we bring it to the forefront and go, oh yeah, like I probably snapped at so-and-so because I've just felt this sort of frustration with not knowing how to move forward, or I felt stuck. For me, like feeling stuck is one of the worst feelings ever. Like, because I just, when I feel like I can't move, that's just, it's so frustrating. I don't love it. So what impact are those feelings of stuck, frustration, whatever else, if they're not good, is that having on your relationships, all of them? Is there something else that you're putting off until you double your business? Like, are you putting off that dream vacation, not because of the money, but because you just feel like you can't leave, either because you don't already have enough time, or because you really feel like you have to capitalize on what your business is doing now and take it to the next level? Like, what experiences are you putting off because you're not sure how to double your business without doubling your hours? And what is that costing you? Is it an emotional cost? Is it a financial cost? Like, what is it costing you? And it might just be like, you might just be putting off like fun and relaxation. Like, it might not be like this super big trip, but it could be just like you put off going to a baseball game this summer. Like, you haven't made it to a baseball game this summer because you are so focused on your business and just trying to, double it. It could be something like that you really enjoy, but you put it off. Could be something else that you really enjoy, but you've put it off because you're trying to solve this problem. You're trying to double your business without, but it's consuming you because you don't know how to do it without doubling your hours. Like, and it could just be, you might have missed a couple of family functions, whatever it is, but what is it costing you, or what are you putting off, and what is the cost of whatever you're putting off? Because you feel sort of stuck in this place. What impact do those feelings have on your life? And again, your relationships, is that, is it impacting your overall happiness, or are you totally happy in this moment? And again, when you get clear on all these things, the decision gets so much clearer. And that's what I think is the sort of sometimes the toughest part, right? It's not taking the action to do it. It's like feeling sort of stuck and like just having these things rolling around. You think about them, but you don't really think about them. They're always on the back of your mind. When you get clear about these, you can make a clear decision. So, what impact are the feelings of, putting stuff off having on your life? What is that costing you? And again, I talk about cost because I want you to be clear that doubling your business it's not a wish. It's important stuff, right? And there's a cost to not doing it. And there's a cost to doing it. And like, it doesn't have to be negative. Like, we're talking about how to do this, how to double your business without doubling your hours so that you can actually enjoy the life that you're living. But you got to get clear on why you're moving forward in the way that you're moving forward. And part of that is really getting clear on like what's going on and what is this, what is it going to look like when you get this, and what is it costing you not to do that? Because the clearer that you are about it, the more a priority it becomes, number one. And number two, you can make that decision from a very clear place of what you're choosing or what you're not choosing, like what you're choosing, right? Because it might be you get clear about this stuff and you're like, this stuff doesn't matter. I am choosing to stay right where I am, be happy where I am. Everything is awesome. Or I'm choosing to move forward and I'm going to really go all in to doubling my business without doubling my hours because I want to enjoy the life that I've created even more. It's just about getting a clear decision. And it's not necessarily the easiest task to double your business. I'm going to teach you how to do it easier, right? But there still requires some energy and input on our part. It requires a commitment of time and energy and most likely money. So it's important to know why you were doing it and what it's costing you not to do it. And this is just part of the clarity piece. The more clarity you have, the easier it is to double your business. So, and here's your homework. So I wanted to just start opening up. I talked about like, it's not necessarily easy to double your business, but I also think it's not, for me, in my situation, it wasn't easy to stay where I was because that was like frustrating. I was getting to the point where it was fun. I'd spent 9 months building my business. It was fun and doing whatever I wanted and just sort of haphazardly building my business, but it wasn't fun anymore. Right. So, and it's not completely, it's maybe actually like I do have clients, right, where we get really clear and then things just start happening. And so it's easier, but there is still an investment, right? Even like I've talked to you about Jill and how she doubled her business in 10 days. Jill still made a commitment to spend 3 intense days with me so that we could do that. So there's a time, there's an energy, obviously, this is my business. So if you work with me, there is a financial investment to that, in order to get your business to double. And so there's all of those things. So it's, while it's the easy path, it still requires time, energy, and money, which is why it's so important to be clear. And it might not be working with me, like the money doesn't have to be working with me, but it might be an investment of money in a different way. Like we're going to explore some things as we go along. It might be an investment in an assistant, it might be an investment in something else that's sort of this upfront investment to get you to double your business. So it might not be with a coach, but it could be, or it could be in something, like I said, like an assistant. And so it's really important to just get that clarity, and decide where you're going to go. And so as you get that clarity, I do want to talk, I'm going to give you some homework that's about, so I want you to get really clear on this. So make this list, listen to the podcast a couple times if you need to get clear on your list about what it's going to look like when you get what you want, when you double your business. What is that life going to look like? Like I said, put on those glasses, those I've doubled my business glasses, and look around that life and really explore it and see what's awesome. Where are you living? What car are you driving? Who are you hanging out with? All this stuff. What vacations are you taking? And then get clear about what it's costing you not to do it and make that conscious choice. Do you want to double your business or not? And just be really clear. And both those choices are perfectly good, right? But make the choice. And so your homework is to do all that we've talked about today. And then I also want you to make a list of ways that you can get what you want that you haven't thought of. So your mind has been probably running around like all of these ways that you could double your business, right? Like, and there's probably about 4 to 5. And what I would love you to do is come up with about 20 that are ways you haven't thought of. Like, just open up to seeing like, and these can be the wildest possibilities in the world, right? So we've been talking about Carrie and as a real estate agent. It could be that someone like literally just walks in the door of your office and says, I have a $2 million property I want to list. And they decided they were just going to list it with the first person they ran into, and the receptionist was out, and you happen to be walking by the front desk, and they met you first and they chose you, right? It could be, if you're a coach, maybe it's that somebody with a 100,000 listener following just randomly emails you and says, I'd love to have you on the show. Everybody loves you. In an instant, your coaching practice is full. Right? So those are just a couple of examples of things that could happen. And so I really want you to spend some time and come up with about 20 ways that you've never thought of, because what you've thought about is like traditional ways. You've thought, well, I could do this marketing plan. I could do this. I could go over here. I could send out this. I could try and spend more in this. I could whatever, right? And what I want you to do is think about ways that that you haven't thought of yet, right? That would be really cool and fun and super easy. And I just want to open your brain to that. So after you've kind of gone through this cost and made the decision, then let's start opening your brain to how can you get what you want in a way that you haven't thought of. And this is really going to play in. It's going to open your mind to seeing that there are so many more ways than you've previously thought. And when you do that with the clarity of, going all in to doubling your business, when you've made that decision, this will be a lot easier and a lot more fun. So that's your homework. You've kind of a lot of homework before next episode, but it'll be worth it. I promise you. So your mantra for today is, I open the space for what I want. I open the space for what I want. So practice that this week. Say it over and over, post it somewhere where you can see it, practice it as it feels good, and open really to that being true in your life, that you're always opening space for what you want to show up. And just a reminder that you can also, after you go through this lesson, you might want to go to doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com and start on the Double Your Business video course. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.